Welcome back, everyone. This is the Night Shift, number 52, a full year of shows. ZP here with DDK and Dan. An NA matchup we've seen plenty of times before. Melee Creeps taking on Pauper's Pupils once again.
It's going to be interesting to see precisely how this is going to play out. I am curious to see the low main performance. I have grown to respect low main a lot over time as ZP, and especially it's for me with low main. I feel like, again, you're looking at it like the McGinnis Calico. You want, a quick little hyperline there. That's going to be very annoying there. It's a bit of extra damage, slow things down, but...
Actually killable under the right circumstances. that is how ridiculous the burst damage in this lane is.
Yeah, and I think it's very exciting to see, because I don't think we really ever see this lane. Viper, Calico. I mean, when do you see that? So it's going to be very fun to watch it play out, but... Looks like on the other end of things, League is going to go down early on. You're losing your McGinnis.
From just seeing some of the lane phase here. The tempo, I mean, look at the tempo that's going on. Currently in the left lane, the Guardian, no McGinnis, no problem. 3 minutes, and it's nearly dead.
If he's going to be able to have a similar performance here against Pauper's Pupils. Okay, we're going to get the ambush on the box run.
I mean,
just very
is I even noticing the damage that's being done? So it's just like, my back feels a little bit itchy. So incredibly low, by the way, Dan. It's just, you have to give so much respect to the Viper calculate. But a quick charge in on the Paupers, puts Paupers in some real danger. League drops the wall for a little bit of safety, but that was super, super close.
Low main coming on in, another great charge into the Guardian there. Looking to try to convert onto League. And we can see why League probably went down early on. It must have been one of those charges. So, you know, Saya really showing us why he should be feared on that Abrams.
Birdie in some real danger. Low HP, dead. Low main able to chase it down in middle. Pupils. Ults are coming up for Melee Creeps. The most notable of all, of course, Assassinate. This is where Goober becomes a threat. Another charge in from Saya. Kidnaps League, gets the finish into a parry. Saya going wild underneath the veil.
Saya's had some insane performance already in this game. So many impactful charges. Wow, okay, Billy, okay, we'll get taken down by the bombs, I think, but a quick slap from Zerbsy will take down Braden. But that Guardian is still standing on the left lane, so very, very good effort from Pauper's Pupils to do that. And in the mid here, we're seeing this, looking to, make sure he ripped the ult at the right time. And there's a conversion onto Birdie from Leper on the Mirage. Napton comes in as well. This is a very deep position for DMB, in trouble. Very squishy on the Viper. I don't know if he's going to be able to get out of this situation, but it looks like there is some support, so able to scroll away from that one. But that Guardian is still up.
Goobers rotate to the left. They've had enough about this Guardian living for this long of a period of time. Lefa caught by Braden. But now, looking at the left. I'm going to take a ride on the Billy, and enough to find DMB. Ball comes out towards the very end. Chain Gang, enough to pull some people to the ground. Braden join this fight now on the left, return the shadow. Goober out of Assassinate charges, and what was supposed to be a Goober come over and feast is turned into a Billy Rem versus the world.
Yeah, this is really problematic, trying to get the healing trooper. Oh, just able to pop the healing trooper in time, but it doesn't really ultimately help at all.
Yeah, I think against any other laner than Billy Rem, it would have been dead ages ago, but okay. Lefa gets low, and Goober Melee Creeps. So we see Saya, wall attempt, coming out here from League, trying to put Saya in a rough position. Birdie, though, and sacrifices his life.
Now, DMB back on the pressure on the left lane, but over the top here, Assassinate from head to toe there. Great shot. And a chase down on the left side as well.
The average is really, really low, and Braden is right on top of it. Surely there's no way average gets out of this. Goober takes a shot once more against Paupers, and oh, okay, well done, the average. I'm not entirely sure how that happened because we were falling 2 fights at the same time, but you look at the mini map and see a low HP Billy being chased by a full HP Calico. Usually that ends one way, but that time it ended completely the other way. And speaking of Braden under assault from multiple ends here. Gonna return the shadow though, buy some time and try and turn the tables here. Gets the saving cube courtesy of Birdie, but it doesn't save for long. Low main still able to get finished post cube, and looking for the goo ball at the very end. 400 HP can absolutely do so.
picking up that right side Guardian left alone. And now a good chain gang coming in, and we'll be pulling in one player. The Viper, the perfect one to pull in, and so low on HP. Finally does go down thanks to low mainland and Celeste, but the assassinates over the top here. You got to break line of sight, but there's nowhere to go. You can't escape this fight. The Calico coming on and through, and the fight looking a little bit risky now suddenly for Braden. He's got to fall off, and it's going to come down to Goober, but no flight to get the angle. Looking for the shot. A wild shot into the veil. Won't find a finishing shot. The finishing blow. Somehow Average able to slide out and still alive. Still staying up with the heals coming in very nicely for him.
Goober burns his entire stack of charges. Can't land a single shot.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of which, you got Saya now fighting against Average. Abrams against Billy. And very Rising Ram kind of faking him out. Looking to, I don't know if he was trying to escape and kind of whiffed it, but either way, Sire in trouble now and got the assist coming on through. Great cube, and the Google is perfect. Finds a channel for it, rolling straight on through. And now Goober comes into the fight as well. He assassinates once again. That's a whiff, but it won't matter. Big bag to be collected. And with that, there's a rift coming up on this right side as well. And at the moment, it's looking like Popper's People's not having too much fun in these fights.
Okay, Saya just won the 2026 award for things you put on the end of a fishing line, because that was incredible bait, the way that worked out. Enabled by Birdie coming in with the cube and the rotation thereafter. What was looking like a kill on the Saya was anything but. However, this rift gonna be completely uncontested for melee creeps. See what melee creeps goes for in turn.
Yeah, really close game here overall in terms of these souls at the moment.
I see Calico.
And the macro not too far away either, but we're actually at almost 13 minutes CP, and there's still 3 Guardians up across the map. Maybe that's about to change here. Looking to try to deal some damage to the mid Guardian. The fight coming on through. Average looking to finally engage with the Rising Ram. Nap time comes in, hits onto Saya, gets insta parried, but there's a lot more behind that one to take down Saya and to claim this Guardian. And in the meantime, there's a fight for that left lane Guardian as well, but it looks like DMB should be able to deal with the defense, as he should send away Leffer on that Mirage. But Leffer, I think, has some help coming. It looks like Popper's Peoples want to take this down.
Yeah, you got Average coming in from the side, the backup Leffa, and all right, Goober decides to join the fight too, and oh, the tether stops the chain gang. Front playing Goober at the last moment. Bola comes on out, buys a little bit more space. Billy not at all bothered by the venom, but while Billy's retreating, Poppers gets hit in the head by Goober. And now Leffa in some real danger. The chase down is coming. Birdie and Saya join the fight. And melee creeps find themselves in a very good rotation. It may not be done yet. They want a little bit more. Can they get Average? Last few bombs hit, but Average looks to get the last little bit of clearance needed to get out. Okay, I was gonna say, was that Average? No. That was just Zerbzy taking one to the dome, courtesy of Goober.
Forgetting what the 2400 upgrade is called now, but either way, definitely a problem. Okay, this is a scary McGinnis to go up against. And there's the wall, there's the trap onto DMB on the Viper, trying to stay alive under this Guardian. Doing so much work.
There's no swap. It wasn't a good angle for John, and instead, League just plays around the health station.
And there is the urn carried across as well.
It's a quick urn turn in for Popper's Pupils, now starting to add on to their lead. And if they get John here, it'd be huge again. Another opportunity where I think even if John could swap, I'm not sure he would have thrown it away there. Goober picks off another, but you start running into this issue here, Dan, where you don't necessarily want your player with the most kills to be Vindicta. Like, Goober is doing everything possible to remain relevant into the game, but we're now at 16 minutes. Vindicta does eventually start falling off a bit, and this Walker is just getting run down by League on the left. For Popper's Pupils, looking to catch someone out. After nap time, Saya a little bit low. Big charge, another charge, up and over. But Saya ends up falling, and not enough damage was done here, Dan. Popper's Pupils still really, really healthy towards the end of it. Saya and Braden both fall. And this is going to be a quick mid-boss for Popper's Pupils. Wait, is Goober's trying something here?
Mid-walker's going down. Can they get it? Can John get the solo mid-walker? He's trying. He does manage to get it. Good consolation prize there for John. They lose the rejuice, but that is at least something.
Birdie, we fall in the crossfire. Braden in some danger. Saya trying to provide the cover. all in and around the walker. Saya's low HP again, gets sent for a ride. One dust devil after another. But still Saya and Abrams, but this time around actually going to die.
So relatively easy cleanup of both walkers. That's a great result for melee creeps. Or the strike for Popper's pupils, I should say. As the melee creeps will get trapped here on the escape. He'll lose a lot more here as they tried to get out, and so many good tools here from the Popper's pupils side to prevent any escape. And they've got the entire map under their or in the control. Try to clean up any farm on their side of the map. It looks like Average may have found a couple players though. Looking to go for the engage. Rising Ram. Is this the fight that he wants? I don't know. A 3 versus 1 onto Average. If he gets taken down here, that would be pretty great for melee creeps. They really want this kill. Nap time comes on through to try to secure it. They'll get it. Is there follow-up here from Popper's pupils?
So far, doing a pretty reasonable job of taking the fight upstairs. And in fact, putting some pressure on the Poppers, who was a little bit late to the party, but not late enough to eat all sorts of damage. He's at no HP right now, and yet the final bit of damage comes in from DMB, courtesy of the Petrifying Bola. And now, oh, it's put League in a bit of a pickle here too. Melee creeps really making something out of nothing here at the beginning, and Popper's pupils on the back foot.
Yeah, melee creeps, this could be the moment to try to make something happen. Chasing down these additional kills. Oh, just barely escaping low main back into the safety of the base. And there's he'll be able to just be fine at this point. And there's a Google coming out for some additional disruption. I think with McGinnis, I think, you know, you have so much more strength to kind of force mid-boss fights and like fake it out with the howl and so on. But Average looking to try to find a kill that gets staked, locks down. Is there enough damage here? Everybody's on top of Average right now. Another pick potentially. Yes, Average will go down immediately. Didn't really have the support there in the team fight. Another opportunity here. Saya getting in close range. Wall there to try to isolate the fight away from his teammates. And it's not looking that bad here for melee creeps.
Melee creeps taking advantage of what was an overextension starting from Average.
Right now, they have to be cautious not to have one of these fights go poorly. Saya looking to try to get a catch hit. Is there anything to be had? There's no charge to lock this one down. Another nap time comes in. Poppers goes down, and maybe opportunity strikes again for melee creeps.
It comes at cost, so Braden ends up falling the trade. Saya's super low HP, and that's a full HP low main immediately behind. Instead, low main decides wants a little bit feasting on everyone's favorite ghost. Back the other way. Saya comes back into the fight, feeling pretty good. Post seismic slam, leg and punch after punch into low main. But low main Celeste still has enough HP to do a little bit of movement. Razzle dazzle back the other way. I truly don't think so. I think, well, yeah, even in this case, can't even burn the rejuve off the McGinnis. And I think the stat difference is just too much. This was a comp that needed to be the comp snowballing. They didn't, and even if it was even, they would be fighting fights that wouldn't be in their favor, and now it's a little bit too much, Dan.
Yeah, something looks like that's the case.
Also, can we get a objective damage for the game so far? I'm just curious how much of this is McGinnis, because I feel like League has spent most of the game just shooting objectives. But you should, yeah, exactly.
A valiant attempt at the defense, but McGinnis undeniable in her desire to destroy the base.
Melee creeps falling the Popper's pupils as, again, Popper's pupils, they knew what their win condition was here, Dan, and that they held strong. They recovered a lane that very well could have been the beginning of the end, and yeah, from there on out, really didn't give melee creeps many opportunities in this game. We know for sure is that melee creeps need to change something up. They're down one map here in our money match on our full year anniversary of shows. However, right. You know what we're seeing here? Goober saying his ear is itchy. Do we have any stat line on how Goober plays with an itchy ear? You never scratch any itch because you just see every opportunity as a chance to like test your willpower.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to be strong. You got to be strong. It's a test.
Okay. Sportsmanship, by the way, from Average, which makes sense because Average and Goober are ladder buddies.
Okay. Where's Paige at? Where's Paige? Who is Paige with? Who's holding Paige?
It was a little bit more comfortable at, playing more finesse heroes, but right now, low main some real danger. Falls to Birdie, leaves a 30 HP. Doesn't get much closer than that.
Okay, that's a mid guardian going down, ZP, at like 430, under like sub 430. That is Goober's lane as well on the Bebop. Goober very weak, but yeah, that's a great unlock there. Goober's going to die. That's actually great for Goober because he gets to reset his HP faster.
Well, not only that, but also, does Goober even go directly back to mid lane here? I mean, depending on how many people rotate in.
Yeah, the Goober fight on the right side there, definitely important to try to provide the imbalance that will allow melee creeps to start controlling this early lane. At the same time now, they're starting to lose damage on that mid Guardian, but looks like the defense is there. Now Page has kind of swapped into that mid lane for melee creeps to keep it up. In the meantime, Goober, now from his perspective, we've seen that pressure game, gets the hook, uppercut, the bomb as well onto him. Is there any tag-alongs here? But no, there's no one there. I don't think the cooldown was ready either, so Zerbzy will go down. And also, Lomé now in a lot of trouble. Is there assist from Goober around the corner? You'd have to imagine Goober's going to be in on top of that one. And still, they can keep doing damage to that Guardian as the chase down continues. Goober looking for this fight, uppercut there, and there is the making it cinematic as he takes his opponent down.
Billy just thrown into the corner to blow up. Canonically, Billy probably has some complaints about that one. But will Bebop. However, elsewhere, John dying for, I believe, it was the second time this game. Shining Wonder going to provide a little bit of cover here. And maybe a little bit of death in onto Calico, where pretty low is Poppers, but it's also not something that you want to commit to, not when the Rem has rotated over. But here comes Goober. Off, in onto Paradox. Hyper Beam comes on out, not quite able to do enough damage before Average turns the corner.
And there we go, trying to follow up with some extra damage. Sending everybody away, Pocket down onto critically low HP, 20. They will get the Guardian at least.
Yeah, and another hook. This time, Leffa just immediately exploded. And this is turning into being the just classic Goober game. I think a better comp for melee creeps here so far. Swap's gonna come out. Is that gonna be enough to put Braden down? Braden really low HP here, and yeah, just barely enough for Zerbzy to get the final shot. And DMP got parried towards the very end, ends up throwing his life away.
There we go, just pumping the damage straight into Poppers. I don't think he's getting out there. The pain is definitely problematic when John's just in.
I mean, you talk about Paige reading books. I think she's cooking the books, Dan.
Yeah, totally. And in on top of another fight there, applying the shields, providing the support, and now looking to bring the damage in as well. The other Rusted Barrel also. Oh, okay, getting caught there by Poppers. No one here from Poppers' pupils. Where they at?
Well, they're trying to look for a kill on mid and then maybe some mid tower damage, which is why you got Braden rotating over. Saya buys a lot of time, but can Saya get out alive? Saya's on Abrams. We've seen the Great Escape many times before. And once more, Saya buys enough time, leaves, and Braden is still able to chase down Average in the end. Now, does Braden give up his life for a trade here? It's Celeste, there's a lot of HP regen, and a hop, skip, and a jump away goes Braden.
Oh, hello, catch onto Leffa. Has not been having a good time with those hooks. How is this fight going to go, though? We'll have the reactive barrier triggered, or the grit triggered, and that's going to be the Nox Nostra to try to do some damage here. But how we're going to see a lot of damage onto the Walker. Got to be very cautious here if you're Popper's pupils. As I say that, oh my god, initiative taken and a close miss on the hook.
Here comes Saya, and this is just for the last remaining Guardian. Parry on to... I don't know if that's... Give him the kill for Guardian here, especially if you get a second kill. You know, a little bit questionable value-wise. Rem's gonna get caught towards the end of this too here, Dan. Well, maybe. It's Rem. Zerbzy. So you give up 2 kills for Guardian. You're gonna be giving up Sinner's priority too for ones that are coming back up. Oh, the parry was unreal from DMB, but he's afflicted, and surely if DMB gets away, it would be unreal. But no, League is able to chase it down. But Braden in pursuit for the Calico. Poppers can't find a way out. It is trades that are overall going in favor of melee creeps, still keeping them in the driver's seat as far as the tempo of the game is concerned.
Yeah, and here is a catch onto Saya on the Abrams. Are they able to take him down, though? Leffa would love to get this kill. Leffa's been getting kind of deleted, I felt like, in a lot of these fights.
Well, his HP's down to 50%. There's no swap.
Oh, no.
And Birdie just got here. So the answer to that is no.
Oh, no.
Well, also, why would you chase Saya like this? There's so many times where we've seen games get thrown by being over aggro on chasing Saya. It's showing something completely different here, Dan, as once more, we turn the Goober who's fishing, finds the pocket super early. And now we're gonna see this leave away out. The Domini's pulled out, and this should be a very dead pocket before it's all said and done. However, nap time comes on in. Zerbzy tries to make a little bit of room. Not enough to save League, but is enough to catch John the Crossfire, but it comes at a cost. Zerbzy ends up falling, and here comes the Walker push. It's going down on both sides, Dan. Gonna be a Walker for Walker here.
Yeah, looking like a clean trade for both sides.
Making the call to go mid-boss here. This has been a strength of Melee Creeps as far as good shot calls go. We'll see if this one falls in that bucket. Shining Wonder was used early in the fight and is already gone. Magnus on top of the Guardian. Page ult comes in to help secure. All three rejuves go the way of Melee Creeps, and now looking for the cleanup. They lose one charge on the birdie, but the rest of Popper's pupils desperately need to leave here, Dan, because anyone that's left is just going to get run over.
This mid one is very pushed, and you can see full advantage taken under the tower. The charge comes through from Saya. Good swap though, actually. This is really nice damage into a hook as well. So Saya losing a lot of health there, but staying up. So how's that rejuice? They weren't able to burn that one away, and the mid walker will be, of course, going. In the meantime, this Rift fight, here we go. Lefa over the top with the Nox Nostra. Seeing what pressure he can apply. Give Goober there, just running around inside the Rift. It will get forced out of it though. Very low now. Great hook. Very low HP still. Top comes in. Can this kill get finished off? An opening salvo, but still Goober stays alive outside that Rift. In comes the Stampede. And Melee Creeps, 3 players are afflicted, but there's no follow-up for it.
You go in, you get a good chain gang, you get a massive team affliction, you go from there. Hook though, in onto Average. And once more, you can see Average running for his life. The second hook ensures he's not going to get away.
Okay, well, mid-boss is up, and the fight is going to be initiated, and nap time's in there. As we'll see the Stampede as well coming on through, and Saya is going to take down Lefa, so really finding good engagements here of Melee Creeps as they look to control the fight, and they are crushing everybody here. There's no way that anything is going to work out here for Popper's pupils. The affliction comes in, 4 players connected with, but it's so late into the fight.
Yeah, it's far too little, far too late. That it's just the biggest affliction there. It's like, yeah, but there's no one around to capitalize on it. Like, sure, a bunch of people on Melee Creeps are going to be down at half HP, but they're at half HP when the rest of your team is at 0 HP. It just, the fight got started on Melee Creeps terms, and by the time Popper's pupils rotated over, there wasn't anything else left to win. And now Melee Creeps, they make the very obvious shot call of going mid-boss, and there's not even the opportunity for a multi-swap from Average here. There's just going to be 3 uncontested crystals going in favor of Melee Creeps.
Yeah. You got that McGinnis heal as well to deal with all the affliction damage. Put the extra turrets up there, and there you go. There are those crystals. The final walker will get targeted as well. Looks like Popper's pupils will try to jump on top of that one, though. Rift is going to be something that they might want to fight for. I mean, the resistances, of course, are helpful. I don't know if it's going to be enough here. They're going to get caught outside of the Rift fight for the most part here. There's Lefa getting targeted down. I don't think it seems like just not a care in the world from Braden here on the Celeste. Just charging it down.
And Lomain may have offered himself up as the sacrifice here. See if there's enough damage to take down Lomain. If anyone can survive maybe the building, but a second hook. Going to pull in Lomain one more time. Rift secured by Melee Creeps. Urn about to be run on in, and you know, Lomain is still alive here. Wait, what is going on? Okay, that was weird graphically, but Lomain may have run out of lives here, but still working around the outskirts. Instead, Rem turns into being the target. Look at Billy's HP post Rem here. He's still dead, but
yeah. Good effort. Well, Walker finally goes down, and Lefa's just pushing mid by himself.
And tier 1 patrons soon to follow, and you have 2 rejuves in the bank and a over 40k lead now, Dan. I think it's safe to say a third map is in the cards. Okay, Birdie cares about it a little bit, but the Domini is out, nearly takes down Poppers. Braden gets a finish, and that is going to be it. A map 3 is coming your way as Melee Creeps even up the series.
melee crews kind of pulling Popper's peoples from pillar to post across the map, having to react to pushes everywhere, and it was them getting ganged constantly. So it never felt like Popper's peoples were ever able to take control.
Also, remember what I said about, hey, you know, when you're pocketing a losing game, get a little bit of stat padding in. League with 40k damage, but I'm thinking back to this like, where did a lot of this damage come from? And it's just like, oh yeah, there was a lot of afflictions and fights that weren't even, you know, fights by the time the afflictions came down. So, you know, that stat line is a little bit misleading. My final thoughts of the previous draft, I think you'd feel way better if they had a Viscous and no Billy. Like, not banning Billy was silly. This one may be more on the conservative end, although that may be changing a little bit in mid, but quick parries enough to free up Goober. Goober might have enough separation, enough to get line of sight. No, not enough. The stacks were high enough, and Goober gonna be first one to fall.
Yeah, there's that poke. I definitely think until those ults come online, you've got an advantage there. Oh, hello. Okay, well, there's the charge into Captivating Reed. Surely they're enabling the kill onto low main. And again, you know, it's like we were talking about. I think, you know, you mentioned it a bunch, just how dangerous Saya is on this Abrams. And we've seen it all day in action, just so reliable. Lane is under pressure. You got a pretty deep position here from Popper's peoples. Are they going to be able to take full advantage of this? Good parry coming on through. Another parry, though, able to take down DMB. He really felt like, I think he had that one. Death slam in a very precarious position. Awkward. And chasing down the kill here. I don't know. Are you going to be able to escape here? Got a couple of Jim's marks on you. Goober trying to make his way out with the paradox there. You've got Lash on the pursuit, and it looks like Brayden's going to go down in the meantime, thanks to Poppers. And the great parry onto low main from Saya. He has a second sense for it. So consistent.
And also a sense for smashing the Rem, perhaps? Wait, Mirage comes on in, gets the rallying charge out, which doesn't go the way of Rem. I wonder if... Okay, that's tragic. It is so close, Dan, to getting away, but the last shot enough to finish off Zerbzi as the Rem Billy lane continues to struggle against the unlikely combo of Abrams Page. Unlikely because no one was expecting Page today.
True, yeah. But it's been pretty historic, one might say. It's been very nice. And, okay, this is like a very interesting place for the ultimate of John. So, I mean, the barrage is going to find its mark.
But nothing too wild. In fact, John, wait, this wall saved him. That would be unreal. But no, there's no getting out of that, even with the cover from Brayden. But it is enough to turn this into more of a trade. Which
means also there's, I mean, both teams are trying to do some remming here and there, but it's a bit more limited.
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting, but also this could be a very dead drifter right now. Brayden on the pursuit. Super Light P needs one more hit, gets it. Brayden cleans up Poppers as both teams struggling for Cinder's control. Goober and die off in middle, but John walking forward, looking for the avenge. Parry! It's enough. John ends up falling towards the end. But wait, where'd Saya come from? Saya walks on in, finishes off League, and still is able to turn that into more of a trade.
Whoa, okay, nice parry coming on in. That's going to slow things down. You are trying to take control of this early tempo now as they move across the map. Both teams very active, though. A much more even game in that respect.
I think one of the bigger question marks here, and not just if Left was able to get afflictions later on, is I was just thinking about Left and it actually killed him, Dan. That's on me. But for average, I actually think Popper's Peoples needs like average to get pretty farmed up this game. Like you expended high draft capital on the Mirage. You gave up some pretty important pieces for it. You know, ideally this is where Mirage has a great game, and another parry on the Saya. Well, that's not part of Mirage's kit, but that is part of having a great game. I mean, if average can avoid the incoming doom here from Saya, it's actually a really good spot to be in. You're at 9.3k on Mirage early in the game to not only supercharge your later farming, but still have an impact in team fights. However, all this going down to the Guardian because, of course, Guardians were late to fall in this game. League may have just taken way too much damage post-charge.
Left is going to be in there, lands the affliction. That's going to force DMB away, and that saves the game.
Oh, okay, DMB went for the Hyperline reposition and just took hyperline damage instead. However, Leffa stayed interested for long enough that may go down riposte hits. And Leffa caught towards the very end. But it's going to be a near full team fight off on the right. We'll see if there's a traveler over here in a moment. Both teams fighting for the rift. We look at Apollo right now where Brain is in all sorts of danger. Needs to live for a little bit longer than Tanya Lasan. Has it back up, can turn back into the fight. Tanya Lasan gonna be used, brings Drifter down the half. Apollo ends up dying for the attempt after. Death Slam used on DMB all the while. And Popper's Pupils, decent team fight start here so far. Claws through DMB. And Melee Creeps, see if they can turn this, but they are bleeding out players.
They need this. They need to get this because Average TP'd over to the Rift and is going to give up a Walker because of it. So they have to at least take the Rift and then maybe try to take a Walker off the back of it. But it is definitely a troubling fight at the moment. It's going to be one that they will be able to capture. But again, they lost a Walker. That's a solo Walker farm that's going to go to John John as a result of Average TPing to help the Rift fight.
And yeah, macro-wise, big win for Melee Creeps there as got shot into instantly pulling out the crossbow. I don't know if the finish is going to be there, though, for DMB, who otherwise is looking for a quick escape on the rooftops. Definitely keen to do it over the buffs. Average. First one being targeted here at the beginning. Riposte back up, courtesy of Brayden. Chain Gang used already from low main, and now trying to dive in on the birdie. 2-mana Flexion comes out at the same time. Swap. Focus fire on the low main. Enough to take him down. Buff claimed, by the way, by Sai. A survival buff on Abrams. That is terrifying. Who cares about a little bit of affliction?
From Ash, that's a huge pickup.
They're going for mid-boss. This is the one thing you'd trade a Walker for at this point. So long as you get the crystals, contest comes into Tiny Lasan. Pretty well timed. One crystal over the John John to the Melee Creeps. Poppers steals one mid-fight. Immediately is the crystal burn. Both teams fighting within mid. All crystals are gone. Melee Creeps. Oh, the pause.
No.
Not the mid fight.
We are going back in. Goober's good. And let's see how much damage can be done. Leffa takes down DMB. Poppers gets traded out. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment. And you got to give it to Popper's Pupils to have the edge here, especially with League. Has that gun buff. There's the Death Slam coming on through. But Melee Creeps still doing a good job.
Wait, Saya grabs Urn of it and kills Leffa as this is going on. Now, low main and the rest of Popper's People was able to clean up those that are there, but the fact that, you know, we do need to keep tabs on there's no green. Zerbzy is the most selfless Rem to ever play competitive Deadlock. That is a Rem that is actually on a diet and is counting calories, Dan.
Yeah, I feel like it's like wrong. I feel like there's something wrong about that. I feel like Rem is designed to be kleptomaniac.
Rem is designed to never stop gambling, but the drop down, charge, and near instant assassination here in the Average, but Average lives long enough to get the Dust Devil off.
Across the map, we're going to get the rallying charge pop there as well, fighting underneath the healing south here for Melee Creeps, and this is definitely a good opening on the fight. Lowmain having to fall back and away, and Lowmain does not have the support. Lowmain's going to get crunched here by multiple players, nowhere to go. It's a big pick for Melee Creeps as they look to assault the mid-walker. This might be a moment for them to take advantage as they also look for additional picks here. They know there are the players lurking, and right now, Popper's Pupils, they're out of position. They're going to be able to take down a walker themselves, obviously cleaning up that right side lane, but they're going to lose mid.
However, Popper's Pupils, you know, potentially looking to just run it back down the other side now. We'll see. Affliction comes on out, drops on the 2, results in John John dying and Brayden no longer being a factor in the fight. So does this just go Walker for Walker here in mid? It doesn't seem like Popper's Pupils is necessarily going to commit. I have an update here because the chat had a thing going with Rem where everyone says greed sickens me. And I had to see like what people would say in response. We had one in chat saying, quote, his restraint inspires me when you get a non-greedy Rem.
Now a sprawling battle across the right side position. Urn is going to get dropped off there. Denies are going to be coming on through. A large amount of denies. Really well done there by Melee Creeps for that one. And now this fight, the skirmish, is going to continue under the bridge there as it moves its way towards the Walker. Good trade of kills coming out from both sides. Popper's Pupils definitely struggling, definitely feeling the lack of ultimates though.
Yeah, I mean, I think Popper's Pupils probably need to just disengage a little bit more quickly here. They give up 2. They do get 1 in turn.
That forces melee creeps to have to take care of that. You can see 2 players on either side lane, and that does give him player advantage in the mid, where Sire's going to get caught, and there are so many players here. Sire is in so much trouble.
Is Sire in trouble, or is Popper's pupils? But
Yeah.
mid boss is back up. Melee creeps is going full of 6, and Side doesn't care about missing a little bit of HP because they see Popper's completely exposed, taken down for free in middle, and now look to average, gets swapped in by Goober. A quick 2 picks now coming in from melee creeps, and Dan, that might have just opened things up here on map 3.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do about this now. You know, the mid boss surely is going to be the result. Itanielo-san comes on through as well, sending that one deep across into a spot where maybe Popper's pupils can get some focused fire, but still they are completely outnumbered. I think it's a massive problem here. Still trying to do damage from above. The pain actually coming in on top of Sire. He is afflicted. He is out of the fight here, so there is a potential for Popper's pupils to do something, but they're getting very low on HP. You can see Leffa is trying to close the distance here, trying to find some way to capitalize on this particular fight. And the mid boss, it can't be attacked just yet, but it is still going to be potentially up for grabs for Popper's pupils once they've healed up. The player on okay, so they're going to play for the bait here. You've got melee creeps. They're going to force mid boss to roar, and they're going to be looking for the picks on the outside.
Sai was looking for the charge pick to start things off. Seismic slam into the tunnel, enough to find League with the aid of the McGinnis. The quick punch towards the end. Another 2 pickoffs here. Popper's pupils down 3. Melee creeps still looking pretty healthy. Looking for an extra one here. Pocket running for their lives towards the very end. We'll see Cape going directly up. You don't have to chase it because you got mid boss on the menu. 4 down, melee creeps. Everyone's still up. And this should be 3 crystals, the way of melee creeps. The stalemate, Dan. Finally getting broken. Pocket though comes on in, drops the affliction, goes for some parries, but is there going to be a steal? Absolutely not.
Okay, got some good shields coming on through to keep Billy up for the time being. Low main is going to stay alive. He's got the chain gang online as well, so this fight might not be as straightforward, but look at the connection into the Walker, and it's a huge one into the affliction as well. Big moves coming in from Popper's pupils to absolutely blow up this play from melee creeps.
Every ult comboed, all rejuve's gone, but is that going to be enough? Goober is dead. The rest of melee creeps are still up, and Popper's pupils, they are reeling. The Walker is still going to go down, but that combo might have limited some of the damage here so far, so long as people don't get caught while trying to get away, and that is not going to be the case. 3 end up falling. It was a great wombo combo, but the rejuve undoes all the damage, and now Shrines at risk for Poppers.
Yeah, nice follow-up there with the seismic slam as well, locking down League, and just like you say, you know, losing too much on the way back out. Looks like such a good opportunity, but these Shrines are going to fall quite rapidly, and now staggering the deaths. You don't want to be doing that. It looks like absolutely, for sure, a first patron drop is coming, and looks like melee creeps are in. I mean, they're very close to winning the game right now.
Yeah, they're not going to go for full end, but if they could get first stage patron here, which looks pretty darn likely, then they're going to be very, very happy. So you drop patron here, you back out, and now you have permanent advantage for the rest of the game on the creep waves, as long as your own Shrines don't die, and a big stat lead on top of it.
That is very tough, but look at the escape there. Good heal comes on through as well, using all the tools to try to see what they can do in this particular fight. Here, Popper's pupils, they really need this one to work out as they're trying to reposition around this one, trying to get the better of this. They get the initial pick there onto Birdie, so something's going here for Popper's pupils.
Yeah, they get the pick they're looking for at the minimum. Page being down for a minute is going to hurt. Death Slam up, over, finds 2, but League gets blown up before anything can happen with it. So both teams down 1. Braden looking for more. Affliction still loaded in the cannon here from Leffa. Drops it, hits 2. See if the fall through is going to be there. This fight is very spread out so far between both the ground, the verticality, and just the general positioning. In a way, both teams may just be on the way back out with the urn still in control by melee creeps.
Yeah, big find though, taking down DMB, who was one of the afflicted players. That's 2 players down here. Big 80-second respawn timer there for melee creeps to have to worry about. Mid boss is up here, so if there's a world where Popper's pupils can regroup off the back of this, maybe they're able to find some kind of objective. 1v1 against John John. Is there any assistance here coming on through? If they can take down John John for free here, that would be massive. But in comes Sire out of nowhere, pinning Average to the wall or low main to the wall there. Very difficult times. They're low main on critically low HP and a
What a
pause.
pause! No, boy.
No way. There's no way. No way.
All right, well, here we go. Post-fight, chase down, maybe not successful as Saya was hoping. And in the back, John gets caught, so Saya goes for this deep chase, doesn't find his target. The team dies behind him. Melee creeps down 3, and mid-boss is still up. Dan, we still got ourselves a game.
Unless Saya can clean up, because Poppers is going to go down. Saya's on full HP. He's an absolute tank right now, and 2 players with him. Goober and Birdie, full HP as well. Poppers Pupils have to try to find a way to re-engage this together. They are doing so, and the wipe! And 2 players evaporate. Mid-boss is the target now for Poppers Pupils, and there's a way back in for Poppers Pupils off the back of this if they can get all crystals.
Again, it's a little bit misleading that on one hand, you know, up about 15K at the moment, but down shrines is a really big deal. Death Slam finds 1. Is Apollo going to be able to get out? Right now, hasn't taken too much damage post Death Slam, but another ground strike on top, and Brayden cannot get away. The chase down success. Can they get the second shrine, or are they just going to leave? Right now, they're being very methodical about this, but it's clear they want the second shrine. Taking a look. Up in the air goes Saya. Half HP. Looking for anything here. Forcing Poppers Pupils back, but gets the charge in on the level. Leffa goes down! Leffa just gets absolutely deleted at the very end. And the second shrine is still up.
Aggressive. Maybe before Leffa can get back on the board, and he has that affliction that he wants into this team fight. If you're Poppers Pupils, you don't want to take a team fight yet.
No, not at all, but okay, maybe you do. The chain gain is huge. Pulls in 4, but doesn't fall through going to be there. The rallying charge comes on in, and Tani Losan in on to the Drifter. Poppers goes down. The chain gang has not resulted in anything but doom for Poppers Pupils. Melee creeps withstand the ult, move on forward, take down 3, and they're on second stage Patron. This could be the end of the game here and now as Melee creeps go for the finish and to reclaim the throne.
Yeah, back and forth right until the end. Hard to know how this is going to go, but over the top, the Death Slam comes on through. Only seems to find 1 player, not enough there. Knockdown in on through the lockdown lead. Take him out. He's gone, and soon the Patron also looks to be gone as well. Every single defender has been deleted, as have the chances here for Poppers Pupils. Melee Creeps will take Night Shift number 52 in a 2-1 fashion.
And they also break the curse of not being able to win any weekly show with a significant prize pool. It was called the Shopify curse back in the day, where when we had Shopify on board as a sponsor, Melee Creeps famously, they weren't able to win anything. And they're just like, we just don't win tournaments with prize pools. Well, let me tell you, Melee Creeps, here during Intel Gamer Days, you are a winner.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think just across the board, this was a really fun match to watch for. I think like all players from both sides had like very important roles in this one. It's actually hard to kind of, say anything, but each and every player had like a very like key role in what they were able to do, and did a good job on ensuring that there was damage in the right places. I think it's cool to see that Leffa on Pocket actually is not. Again, we're seeing, as you mentioned, Leffa having to kind of flex himself a lot more than we used to. Used to be on M1 roles. Pocket is not really that, so that's cool to see. Also really cool to see, the Lash got through, in this last draft. We also got to see a lot of Paradox, and Goober getting on the Paradox with 50k damage, 51k damage from the Paradox, showing the Paradox is still like an absolute menace with respect to just consistent damage output as well. So that was also fun to watch.
And our MVP this time around, from the front line, creating picks, it's got to be Saya.
Yeah, there's no question on this one. I mean, sometimes it's like harder to pin down the MVP, but no question on this one. I think showing us performances in the early lane phase that maybe you wouldn't expect. Being able to find immense value and pick picks from the charge just right from the get-go. As soon as he skills it into level 1 on it, Saya was just so high value. Again, like there's one example of that. Just constantly finding those charges in these moments. Great parry there as well to convert 2 kills off that. Insane.
Yeah, and I mean, that was the one thing in the maps that Melee Creeps won, is that the Abrams was a continual factor. I think if you're doing honorable mentions for the other side, low main still had a pretty good series, especially back on map 1 where Lomain was able to play the Celeste, and it was such a threat in the Celeste that Pauper's Pupils never got it back again. It was picked away from them in map 2 and just straight up banned in map 3. And I think for very good reason. But, some of these setups here, super important, where, just off the top rope, finds Poppers in the back, and just an instant deletion of Drifter.